one, I cannot be the two. Why you on a perimeter, can't even shoot? Oh, you got a whack at jump. We gon' make it rain, no thunder. I ain't tryna sit on the phone, tryna.
All right, y'all. Week 2 of the NFL. Let's just recap it real quick. Okay, Commanders versus Packers. That's what it started off with. Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft had a great day, but I think the story of this game was, Jordan Love, again, not turning over the ball. Big deal. But the Commanders' offense didn't really turn it on until the fourth quarter when the Packers really let it go, just like the Lions did the week before against the Packers. But I think Jaden Daniels and his sophomore slump, a lot of people said, oh, no, he's not going to do it the way CJ Stroud did it. But I think it was basically the same so far. Again, the Commanders put it on the Giants, and then it looked a little more impressive because of what the Giants did with the Cowboys, and we'll get to that. But really, we're worried about the Commanders' offense. We're worried about their health, starting with their quarterback, but moving on to the rest of the team as well. Austin Eckler and a few other big-name players are just injured or out for the rest of the season. So it's a bad look for them. It's looking bad for them, but 1-1. You can't be mad at 1-1, especially when the Green Bay Packers were favored in this game previously. And we do think, well, most of us think that the Green Bay Packers are going to go a long ways. Jags Bengals. So if you didn't watch this game and you just saw the final score of 27-31, you would think, hey, Joe Burrow did what he did. Jags couldn't keep up. That's not what happened in this game. Jags were up 14-7 when Joe Burrow got injured and left the field. And then they got walked down by Jake Browning. Jake Browning, who also threw 3 picks. I thought the Jags were going to be good. I'm not saying they're not going to be good. They're 1-1. But losing this game to the Bengals without Joe Burrow, without their starting quarterback, and Jake Browning came in and, I don't know if you can say he played well. 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. For a backup, he was really good. 250, that's nice. But it's crazy. The Bengals won this game with Jake Browning at quarterback and Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars giving it away. I think the biggest story from this game is obviously Joe Burrow's injuries, but second has to be, I don't want to say the fall of Brian Thomas Jr., but the yips of Brian Thomas Jr. Because if you watch the highlights or if you watch the game, you saw that there was a few times where he was going over the middle, sometimes for a touchdown, and he didn't trust that Trevor Lawrence was going to protect him during the catch. The first one I saw was that he put his arm out and I've done it before. Like, you put your arm out and you put your head away, like you're trying to catch the ball, but you want to protect yourself more than you want to catch the ball. And again, do I fault him for not wanting to get hurt? Of course not. But if you're running that route, you're going to get lit up. That's just the name of the game. Like, if you go over the middle, safety's on the other side waiting for you, linebackers on the other side waiting for you. You got to catch the ball because you're going to get hit regardless. And some of these clips, most of these clips that I watched in the highlights, he didn't get hit anyways. But usually, whether you catch the ball or not, your head's getting knocked off. So why not just catch the ball, respectfully? As someone who is an LSU fan, I need you to do better. Travis Hunter, I know he, played 20 snaps, I think, on each side of the ball. A lot better than last week. That might be the third biggest story of the game, because at the end of the game, 4th and whatever, instead of throwing it to the 2 receivers, they threw it over to Yosivash. And I think Trevor made a good play on the ball. I talked about it on TikTok. I wouldn't have thrown the flag personally. I think Travis was in a good position. And obviously they were hand fighting, but he looked back enough to make a play on the ball. I think he was going to hit it regardless whether he looked back or not. But he looked back and swatted the ball perfectly. I just think Travis did his job on that play, and there should have been no flag. But a Jamar Chase sighting, that's cool. I just think that the Jags gave this one away more than anything. Moving on to a game that I don't even know if I want to talk about, honestly, the Giants versus the Cowboys. I'm happy that Malik Neighbors is getting the ball. I'm happy that he's playing the game of football, and he looks like he's got his swagger back. Obviously, he had that night-night celebration. Didn't really go night. The other team really didn't go night-night, but I'm happy when Malik Neighbors is happy, because my biggest fear as a Giants fan is that in 4 years, he's going to be like, I'm good, and he's going to want to go play with Jaden. Obviously, LSU guys, the connection they have within the division, it's scary. But anyways, let's talk about it. Russell Wilson had a great game. Obviously, in overtime, he sold, but I don't know. I can't blame Russell Wilson, because without him, we wouldn't have been in that position anyway. If you look here, 11 carries for 45 yards. That's not going to get it done. Obviously, we're gashing him 9 for 167. And obviously, Wandell had a big game too. So that's impressive from our offensive side of things. But the Giants are now 0-2. and have the Chiefs coming to play them on Sunday night football at home, I believe. Are we going to get a win? I know before the season, the Giants already had the Giants. I keep saying the Giants. I'm a Giants fan. I already know before the season we had a very extremely tough schedule, but 0-3 is tough. It's very bad, especially when this game, at least the Commanders game, we got stomped. We had no chance, but this game there was hope for us, and we just let the ball go. And I wasn't too happy about it. I don't want to spend too much time on this game. On the other side of things, Cowboys, they put up 40. I mean, this is how they're going to have to win games because their defense isn't that good, especially without Micah. But even with Micah, their defense wasn't that good. So Dak putting up 361, Lamb having over 100 yards. That's how they need to win all these games. You would hope you don't have to use games like this up against the Giants. You think you would want to use that up against better competition. But you got the win, and you're looking up. You're looking up. Okay, for the Bears and the Lions, I didn't watch this game. After Chicago lost to the Vikings, I didn't see much coming out of this. I know Detroit just lost to the Packers the week before, but I think the Packers are a lot better than the Vikings. So in this matchup, even though it's interdivision, with Ben Johnson going to play his other team, there was some emotion, there was some excitement. This was really just Detroit trying to get their swagger back. Whether I think they have it back or not, it's a good showing for them, especially against Ben Johnson. Especially when a lot of people were saying, hey, Campbell, your offense now doesn't look too hot. They put up 52 against the Bears. I don't think the Bears defense is going to be that good, nor has been that good. So it might just be a fluky game for the Lions. I need them to stack offensive performances. Their defense just needs to hold water. Giving up 21 against the Bears doesn't sound like a lot of points because it's not a lot of points. But to me, the way the Bears have been playing, the way Caleb hasn't improved the way we thought he was going to improve on that, even though his coach says he saw a major improvement from week 1 to 2 or whatever the case was, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I'm still a Caleb fan. I hope he does well. I'm rooting for him. I haven't sold all my stock yet, but it's not looking too hot. Rams Titans. We're not going to get totally into the game. The best play of the game was when Cam Ward, and this is important. Cam Ward has a lot of confidence in his arm. I don't know if you saw the play, but he was on the right side of the field, pointed to the left, threw it across for the touchdown. Impressive play. But like a lot of people say, you can't give an attaboy to a bad play because when he makes to a bad decision, even though it ends up an amazing play, because in the future when he's making these bad decisions and it's not working out for him, you can't be like, you can't do that. Coach, you said I did a great job when I threw that touchdown earlier. So that was the most impressive thing about that. I don't think anybody sees the Titans doing anything, but the Rams are doing what they're supposed to do. Patriots Dolphins. The story is the Dolphins. Yes, the Dolphins put up 27 points, but their coach might get fired. They play the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football and should get smashed. Might be close because it's interdivision. Should get smashed, but they play the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are rolling. Tua's going to be 0-3. Tyreek's not going to be happy, and it might get ugly in Miami real soon. Let's just say that. 49ers Saints. I don't want to talk about Mac Jones, but the story is Mac Jones. I like Brock Purdy. He's a man of faith, was in Arizona, played in Iowa, worked his way up, has played very well in the playoffs, Super Bowl situations, all that good stuff. But I don't know how good Brock Purdy is. He might just be a plug-and-play player like Mac Jones looked like this week, like Jimmy Garoppolo looked like at times. That offense is very good with all their pieces. In this case, they didn't even have all their pieces. Christian McCaffrey, not doing well running the ball, but doing well catching the ball. So you like to see that. But we'll see when George Kittle gets back and Brandon Ayuk gets back. That's when we know what the 49ers are going to be, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Bills Jets. Bills handled the Jets. I mean, you thought the Jets had something going this year. I think you tapered those expectations down extremely after this game. Even though, I mean, it is the Bills. The Bills did just beat the Ravens in a shootout. But for their defense to look terrible against the Ravens but look excellent against Jets, you probably think it's more of a Jets thing than it is a Ravens thing. Moving on, Seahawks Steelers. I don't know what to think about this. I think the story of this game was really Aaron Rodgers and what he didn't do compared to what he did last week. I don't know what to think of the Seahawks. They're 1-1. It's just 2 games. It's too early to tell. But 31 points is impressive. Sam Darnold, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's impressive. I just think this is more about the Steelers. Are the Steelers going to be good or not? The Seahawks, I think they have a floor of 6-7 wins. I don't think they can be worse than that, but I don't think they can get to 10. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know about the Seahawks. Ravens, Browns, and Side note about this game. Yes, Lamar threw for 4 touchdowns. All those records were being broken with his passer rating, highest ever, all that good stuff. I think the most important part is the Browns. What are the Browns going to do with the quarterback situation? And are they going to do it fast? We saw Dylan Gabriel get some snaps at the end of the game. Are we going to Dylan Gabriel sooner than later? Is Shador going to get a chance at the end of the season? That's what we're thinking with the Browns. No one really... I mean, again, it was close early. They're holding Derrick Henry to nothing. If we pull this up, I could show you if you don't believe me. They're holding Derrick Henry to nothing. So really, this game was all about Lamar Jackson doing what he does. But obviously, we want to know why Joe Flacco is throwing the ball 45 times. 10 for 61 isn't terrible. But again, why is Joe Flacco throwing the ball 45 times? He's not a quarterback for the future. Me personally, I love throwing rookies into the fire. So I feel like you should just throw whatever rookie you want into the fire and see them sink or swim. Because you might get the first overall pick next year. And even though the quarterback draft doesn't look too hot college-wise, I don't know if we're talking Arch or Nuss or Club Nick or who's really played well for the... It might be for OU. I forget his name. My apologies. But quarterback draft doesn't look so hot. But you're going to be up there. So the Browns better start draft night, right now. Some of the rest of these games, I don't even know if I really want to talk about them. They're not really that important to me. Colts, Broncos, Bo Nix, what are you? Daniel Jones, are you lying to us again? Probably. Cardinals, Panthers, I really don't care about any of these teams. Eagles, Chiefs, this is one we could talk about. So the story of this game was the tush push. Not because it changed the game dramatically or whatever the case was. It's just because the commentary was on the tush push. Everything leading since then has been about the tush push because, they're jumping. They're already lining up in the neutral zone. Is this going to be the last year of the tush push? All these things, the slow motion videos they're putting out, the Chiefs and Eagles social media teams going at it back and forth. Everything's about the tush push. What I want to talk about is Patrick Mahomes, my MVP candidate. Patrick, please. This is my first year putting out NFL honors on YouTube. And if you make me look bad for betting on the best quarterback I've ever seen, I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be very mad. I'm going to be upset. And these games, I'm not going to say they're not close. Obviously, the scores are close. You could have beat the Chargers, whatever. But you're not doing anything MVP-like. And that's the problem. Like, if you're bad throughout the game and then fourth quarter you show up like Baker, shout out Baker, that's great. I mean, Baker wasn't bad throughout the game, but you know what I'm saying? Game-winning drive, win the game. Or you just put foot to belt to what the whole game. That's also MVP-like. 187 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. I know the pick wasn't your fault, but that's not going to win you MVP, Pat. It's not. And I need you. Listen to me, Pat. I know you're not watching this, but just in case you ever see this, I need you to win MVP. Like, I need to start off very well. So, Pat, please do better. Please do better. Other than that, Eagles aren't throwing the ball very well. Jalen Hurts is winning because that's what Jalen Hurts does. And I respect it. I 100% respect it. But I don't know if your wide receivers do. I don't know if your offense loves it. Your fans, they're going to ride for you regardless. I've never seen an Eagles fan be like, oh, Jalen Hurts needs to throw the ball more. No, they just talk about them winning a Super Bowl, going to the Super Bowl, winning all the games, whatever. Saquon Barkley, I don't think we're looking at him sideways just yet, just because the passing game has been so bad. You're really just focused on the run. But we're not there yet, but we might be looking at Saquon like, what happened? I don't want to spend a lot of time on the Sunday night game, even though it was the Sunday night game. Throughout the game, I watched the whole game. Let me not lie. Like, the last 6 minutes, I wasn't watching it because I'm like, this is really boring. Neither offense was doing anything other than, Bijan Robinson, which is great for him, great for his fantasy owners. But if this is how the Falcons wanted to play, then why are we drafting Michael Penix Jr., obviously? But you could have done this with Kirk Cousins. If we were just going to give it to Bijan in the flat, dive, sweep, we could have done that with Kirk Cousins. We could have done that with anybody. Obviously, we're paying Michael Penix a lot less money, but we did draft him, 8th? I think he went with the 8th overall pick. So I'm just confused. If the Falcons want to be this run-first team, running back-centric team, they could have done that with any quarterback. But I think they want to unleash Michael Penix Jr. He just might not be ready. And the commentators were going crazy about, he throws the ball so quick. It's not impressive. He's just throwing out routes and slants, and it's just not okay. I guess he's making the right decision quickly. I don't know. I don't see much to be happy about with either of these quarterbacks. Not saying that they're bust or anything like that. JJ, I would say, has shown me more than Michael Penix Jr. has, and JJ's only played 2 games. Michael Penix played a couple games last year, and obviously Michael Penix was better in college, even though, when they met for that national championship, JJ's team won. But I don't know. Both of these teams, I don't know if their quarterbacks are good. And I think that's what I wanted to see on this Sunday night matchup was, okay, which of these quarterbacks is going to take the next step? Which one is going to separate themselves from their draft class? But for right now, neither of them have. To my favorite game of the weekend, and yes, we're going to spend a little bit of time, not too much time with this, but my favorite game of the week was Baker Mayfield showing everybody on a solo stage that, hey, it might not always look pretty, but Baker Mayfield is a top 7 quarterback in the league. And I can say that confidently. I don't want to say 10 anymore. I want to say top 7. Lamar, Pat, Josh. Joe Burrow is injured. I don't think he qualifies. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP, winning Super Bowls, winning games. Okay. Now what we're looking at? We're looking at Jared Goff before we're looking at Baker Mayfield. We're certainly not looking at C.J. Stroud. Ever since he told Caleb, like, you'll be great in this league, C.J. Stroud hasn't been anything in this league. Anything's too strong. But you know what I'm saying. Jaden Daniels, one-hit wonder so far. I don't know. Where are we looking to say that there's a quarterback better than Baker? I know Justin Herbert's been playing well, but I haven't seen Justin Herbert do in the playoffs. I've seen Baker Mayfield play well in the playoffs for the Browns, even for the Bucks. Baker Mayfield, that's what this game was about. Yeah, the Texans are struggling. Yeah, CJ might be regressing, even more so. But it might be their offensive line. It might be their offensive coordinator. We don't know. All I know is that Baker Mayfield, on that final drive, showed everyone, especially, Gardner Johnson, that Baker Mayfield is the real deal. 25 completions for 215 yards isn't great. I'm not saying the averages were great or anything like that. But don't want to say put the team on your back. But Baker Mayfield winning this game on this solo stage, I think did wonders for his MVP candidacy. Obviously, Lamar and Josh, they look great. They're putting up excellent numbers. But they have to battle through the AFC. And the NFC's not weak this year either. Baker Mayfield, has to go through the Lions, the Packers, so on and so forth. But Baker Mayfield. I know I was talking to Patrick earlier because he was my pick, but Dark Horse Baker Mayfield. And it's not because Dark Horse production. Dark Horse because he's not, one of the quote-unquote best quarterbacks in the league, one of the most talked about quarterbacks in the league. But watch out for Baker Mayfield, I'm telling you. And last but not least, to round up this video, we're going to talk about probably the worst game that I watched this week was the Chargers and the Raiders. Off rip, Geno Smith is throwing picks. He threw the ball 43 times. And maybe I'm a little bit extra mad because Genty was he was my second pick on fantasy. And to see him get 11 touches for 43 yards while Geno was throwing all these picks. And the game was never a blowout where, we have to throw the ball. We can't continue to hand it to Ashton Genty. We're talking about a game that was close throughout, where Genty could have broken one off. We don't know. We haven't seen him do it, but we don't know. And I should be kicking myself because these Raiders O-line is garbage. And I know the story should be Justin Herbert, MVP, this and that. Look at him, open up the offense more and look at the weapons. The Raiders are bad. Anybody thought that the Raiders were going to be good? Nick Wright, I'm looking at you. I disagree with you. Ashton Genty might be a great running back. We don't know. Because college is cool. NFL pros are different. You actually need an O-line. I don't know what he was running behind Boise, but he clearly put up numbers. I'm just depressed that he's my running back on fantasy, and I don't really want to talk about this anymore. Chargers won. Vegas looked really bad, like really, really bad. And I know Pete Carroll says all he does is win, but he might better get used to losing because I don't think it's going to look too hot. But anyways, that's the end of this video, y'all. Again, weekly, I'm talking about games, or daily, I'm talking about games on TikTok. So you can get with my TikTok. We talk about certain plays on there. Please argue with me. All that you want, please argue with me. I'm ready for all arguments. I comment on everything. I respond back. But till then, God bless. Thanks for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. If you don't agree with any of my takes, we can argue about it. Get on the podcast, get in the comments, whatever you want to do. You can subscribe to my channel right here. In this other corner, you should get with my TikTok and my Twitter. And in this corner right here, you can watch any more reaction videos, vlogs, or watch any more takes. Till then, see y'all. God bless.